Class Idiots. Our next guest is quite simply a legend of football and broadcasting. For more than 30 years, this man has been the driving force behind the World Game here in Australia. He has a new book out called The World Game, according to Les Murray. He is the one, the only Les Murray. Yeah. Now, do we go with your announcement first? You've left SBS because you were a judge on the X Factor. So, looking forward to that, Les.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd love to.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't left. I'm still part of the SBS family.
Excellent.
I just sort of diluted my workload, shall we say.
Oh, Sam does that every week, but down to nothing.
Yeah. Wait, it's really because you had a farewell.
I did, yeah.
Hang on,
you were there.
I was there. I was there to...
you were an honoured guest, my honoured guest.
I was there to make sure that you left, actually.
He's a wide answer.
And you did make sure.
I did.
Les, he's a wide answer. He's going for your job at SBS. This is what he does. Do you know what I mean? He starts at Eurovision with all that nonsense in Sweden, and then he's after your gig.
He's been waiting...
That's it, Eurovision one day. The World Game.
No. It goes on before that. He was since Pascalides. Since Andy Pascalides, he's been waiting. He's been waiting since Danikian. He's been waiting.
Well, I just wanted to show you, Les, because when I say I did make sure you left, I did leave you. I leave you. There's us on Thursday night. Look at that. I don't know what's in your cup there, Les. That's a you. No, that was actually SBS wanted me to get a urine sample from you. Then what are the big names? Mark Rudan, the Rudes.
Oh, I like the filter.
He was a member of the Fox family, and then the next one's with me. Actually, Rudes followed me around a bit, to be honest.
Rudes.
That's
Pascalides.
Andy Pascalides.
I like that.
And that was a great show.
What about the entertainment?
Well, tell you, what about this? John Paul Young.
Oh, Les.
And you sang a couple of songs too.
7. Get it right, Sam. I sang 7 songs.
I only heard 2 of them, Les.
Les, how do you feel? I mean, it's a big celebration, of course, and a lot of people, wanting to say goodbye. A lot of people are going to miss you. Do you feel relieved? Do you feel happy? How do you feel right now?
Well, I just feel that it's... it's just I don't know. I've never been retired before, so I don't know what retired feels like. So people ask me, what am I going to do? I don't really know, because I've got to just sort out what retirement is like. But I feel great because it wasn't an overnight decision. I thought about it for quite some time. I knew it was a good time. The game is in a beautiful place at the moment. So you never know when another Clive Palmer might come along and turn things down. So I thought this was a good time.
It's a good time to get. I know that we can't even begin to touch the tip of the iceberg of Les's career by showing some clips, but we do have a little bit here. I just wanted to show because waking up in the middle of the night to your smiling face, when I was a kid, holding the aerial, standing up to try and get good reception was how I was introduced to the World Game. Do we have some of Les's introductions to the many tournaments?
Good evening, buenas noches. Welcome, buonasera, and hello again from the World Game. I'm Les Murray. And welcome to USA 94. Good evening, welcome to France 98. If you're a soccer fan, there's a pretty good chance you'll have to put up with my face on this screen more often than you think.
See how I've aged in this profession.
The glass has gotten smaller.
Les, how many World Cups have you been or you covered? How many have you covered?
8. I've covered 8 World Cups, and I've got to say, Sam, that for somebody who covered 8 World Cups like me, I was very disappointed that you weren't at the airport today at Tullamarine with a little with your uniform.
He's driving a bus. He's driving a bus.
Oh, the bus, was it?
Yeah. Well, that's... you should have just texted me. I would have been there, Les. No, seriously, what about the 8 World Cups?
Yep.
How many NSL Grand Finals?
I think about 17, 18, something like that. We did the NSL for 18 years, so it must have been 18, because I did all the grand finals.
And you were at all of them, weren't you?
I was at all of those. Yeah, I was going to ask about all the people that you've interviewed over the years. You've Pele, I guess a handful of times. How many times have you spoken to Pele?
About 6 times.
Wow. The Maradona you've spoken to, Michael Mifsud, people like that.
I never spoke to Michael Mifsud.
You never spoke to Mifsud?
Actually, I know for a fact, Les had an interview lined up and missed it.
When was it?
No, but do you get overawed? I mean, when you speak to great people, to your Pelés, to your Maradonas, as a fan, do you get overawed, or is the professionalism?
No,
okay?
no, never have.
So you're never not overawed here, or you know, it's just.
I'm a little nervous today. But no, I've never really, you know, those guys really usually are pretty professional.
Right.
The first really great that I interviewed was I guess Pelé, and there's few people greater than him, and he was so humble and so amicable, you know, a real gentleman that. I felt very relaxed with him, and after that, I wasn't worried about anybody.
Maradona is notoriously sort of up and down and can be a little bit prickly. I think when was you interviewed him twice? He can be quite hard to get hold of, can't he? How did you get hold of him?
Well, the first time I interviewed him was in Naples after a game where I was on a sort of a whole string of. I was one of the whole string of crews post-match interviews. That were being done after the game, and so I got to him quite easily then. But in 1993, when he came to Australia for the World Cup qualifier, he announced at the beginning that he's not giving any interviews while he's in Australia. And I thought, well, I got to get him somehow. How am I going to get him? How am I going to get him? So I thought he's got to have a soft spot somewhere. And of course,
Hang on. How far did you go there?
I reckon.
But I figured that I knew from his story and his private life that his weak spots were his daughters. He loved his daughters, and so I went out and got some gifts, you know, Aussie souvenirs, koala bears and all that stuff, and wrapped them up and went to his hotel and parked myself in the lobby with a camera crew and a Spanish translator, because I knew that in order to get to his room, he had to come through the lobby. So he was in the bar. I saw him at the bar, and we just waited. Must have been about 3 hours, and then he came. He came. Sure enough, he came through, wandering through the bar, and I waved my microphone at him. I said, Diego, can we have a few words? And he didn't even look, didn't even, interrupt his rhythm. He just kept walking. No, get stuffed, whatever it is. Anyway, and then I shouted after him, but I've got gifts for your daughters. And then he stopped dead, spun around, and gave me a 5-minute interview.
Wow, there you go. That's what he's doing.
You should have tried that with David Villa.
Well, that's amazing. You knew that that to get to his room he had to go through the lobby. Eh?
I did my research.
You're a real Columbo, mate. Of course you've got to go through the lobby to get to
I apologise. This is what he does. We have a legend like yourself on. He's from community radio, and this is the way he treats you. I apologise for this.
Well,
Les Murray.
speaking of starts in the business, Les, I was reading where you began in 1977 with Network 10.
That's correct.
Yeah. Is it true you're going back?
Definitely not.
Doing the Big Bash. Should we talk
should talk about Les.
You think the Big Bash would be great, by the way. You don't know what the Big Bash is, but that doesn't matter.
Les, this is Les's book, OK? It's the World Game, according to Les Murray. Les, congratulations on the book. I have read. There are bits of it that are dear to my heart, especially the bits about Ferenc Puskás. I know that you're Hungarian. I love those bits. Was it enjoyable writing the book? What was it like? Has it taken you a long time? Tell us the story about it.
Well, the publisher came to me and said, Les, we need a book.
I said, rebadge one of Max Walker's, put a soccer on the front, and get it out there.
So really heartfelt,
we need a book before the World Cup because we want to bring it out in November to coincide with your farewell. So I did it, but it's a great book because it's not only the words; it's a coffee table book, beautiful pictures. If you
like that type of thing,
if you like that type of thing, Santa.
You know what, Les?
You can read it backwards, Santa. Still.
Yeah. I haven't tried that. But I know I don't want to impose upon you, but I do love
It's just because of Cup Fever. This is something that was huge for us in Cup Fever.
Well, exactly. Well, in Cup Fever, this is not, in fact, it's not even your first book, because when we were doing Cup Fever on SBS back in 2010, you did put out a book for children, didn't you? Yeah.
You made me put it.
We did not. Let's have a look.
At last, a children's book to keep your little ones spellbound for hours. Les Murray's classic World Cup stories for children will delight youngsters of all ages.
Franz Beckenbauer, the Kaiser, accelerated through the Swiss midfield in Germany's first group game.
Les's book is full of memorable moments.
Beckenbauer had invented a new tactical position, the libero, a floating sweeper who clears up behind his centre halves and turns defence into attack.
Stories that will keep your children coming back again and again.
And isn't that a lesson for all of us?
Les Murray's classic World Cup stories for children in all good bookstores now.
Okay, a huge hit. A huge hit. Flew off the shelves. Flew off the shelves.
Those kids are all playing AFL now.
Yeah. Good riddance to them.
Les, could you please read us my favourite section of the book? Your beloved Ferenc Puskás, who was born in Hungary.
The Galloping Major, yes.
The Galloping Major.
Have you got a section there for Les?
Can you say Galloping Major again?
The Galloping Major.
Oh, I love that. Can we turn the lights down? Can we just have a bit of atmosphere here? This is about Ferenc Puskás. Please engage us.
On your cue.
Maestro.
Thank you. Born in 1927, Puskás was a child of the Danubian school, a brand of football that influenced the global game between the 1920s and 1960s. It was a brand of sweet invention, skill, tactical nous and wit. And Puskás embodied it all perfectly. He was the son of a moderately successful professional player, later to be his coach, from the outer Budapest suburb of Kispest. Like all such kids in Hungary, including his neighbour, friend and future Hungarian teammate, the legendary midfielder Josef Božič, he learned his craft by playing kiskapu, small goals, on suburban patches of grass and street corners until it was too dark to see.
Oh, come on, thank you.
I love that.
Well,
I love that.
no,
It's beautiful. It's sincerely beautiful. And Les, you know this for a fact. You're one of my favourite people in the world. You're always very good to me when I am over at SBS. I was wondering if you would indulge me and read a piece of literature that's very important to my heart. Yeah, it's the blurb from Revenge of the Nerds. Just on
no.
one of my. It was quite a seminal movie for me growing up.
Not the sequel.
No. This is the original. Yeah, there's only one, Santo. There's only one. And I was just wondering if you'd do me the honour of reading just the kind of the plot. If we could just lower the lights.
Where is this going, Sam? Where's
So, Les, please just watch with Santo, just on my cue.
Yep.
Get on with it. We're running long.
All right, here we go. A group of outcasts start their own fraternity after being rejected by every house on campus. It's a brains versus brawn battle when the football team jocks try to crush their misfit counterparts, but the nerds have the perfect plan to gain the upper hand.
Oh, yes! The book is called The World Game.